she delivered baby boy. What they don't tell you though is that Hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Karina and I am an SLPA sharing my family, speech, and lifestyle here on YouTube. I just kind of wanted to share my experience and what it's been like going from 1 kid to 2 kids. It is very different compared to my first one though, so I'll just start off with that. I went into the hospital with my baby girl at 35 weeks. Now that was a little bit alarming because I know it's a little early, and while my body was contracting and I was getting these pains, like I was ready, I thought I was, it was still a little bit alarming. So we went in kind of, I don't know, could this be real? Is this false? And then last minute they did come in and say, you know, you're not having baby today, you're not dilating, you need to go home. So it was kind of disappointing, but it was also, you know, a blessing. We wanted baby to obviously stay in a little bit longer, but I will say that's entirely what made me anxious for baby girl's arrival. You know, if you've ever been pregnant, have kids yourself, like, you know, it's exciting to want to meet this baby. Like, you dream of this baby, you want to already meet them as these last weeks are approaching, right? When you're in your last trimester, it's like, okay, get this baby out. I do feel that as you continue, you know, giving birth, I think it becomes harder on your body. At least I can say from my friends' experiences and what they've shared, and then from my experience. My first one was, I was just chilling. I was really just laying down all the time, sleeping. And obviously now I couldn't do that because I do have my toddler. So I was very excited to meet her, but I was also anxious towards the very end. And I did a lot of different things to try and get my body into labor. So at the very end, you know, when I was contracting and it was time to go to the hospital, I almost didn't believe it because I had already gone a few weeks before that and they sent me home. It was very discouraging. So I just stayed at home for as long as I could. I tried to fight through those contractions and I was vacuuming. I just kept my mind off of it. So it finally did come down to that time, and then when we did go, luckily we were not sent home. We had baby girl on April 14th. So that was amazing. Now my expectations compared to my first were also really high. I gave birth to Rio, my son, in about 5 hours. From the time I arrived to the hospital to the time I had him was a total of 5 hours. Now actually, like, pushing, I want to say was under 10 minutes. The entire, you know, intense labor giving birth was not very long. So when we went with Viviana to the hospital, I had the same expectation, that because so many people tell you, oh, your second one, your third one, your fourth one, like after your first they come faster because your body knows what to do. So I was expecting to have baby girl in less than 5 hours, and that was not the case. We got there at around 9-ish. We had her at 7:42 a.m. the next morning. What's interesting is that they've also both waited for the doctor to arrive. You know, they have on-call doctors like overnight. My OB wasn't working that night and she was scheduled to be there the next morning, and my baby girl kind of waited for that doctor to come in because she got there right on time and then was able to deliver baby. The same thing happened with Rio. We had a on-call doctor kind of helping me out, and then once he was ready to come out, it was like perfect timing. My OB, the doctor I had been seeing for all those 9 months, was there, and she delivered baby boy. So that was super neat. I do like that I get to share that experience with someone that I'm comfortable with. Of course, you know, if I'm ready to give birth and it has to be with the on-call doctor, it would have been there. But it's really beautiful, I think, to share that experience with someone, again, that you're comfortable with and that you've kind of shared what you want in labor, what you don't want in labor, and they kind of know you. You know, you've built some sort of relationship throughout those 9 months. Now, getting into my recovery real quick, mine was very different this time because I did have no tears. I feel like I get questions around, how did you get no tears and what exactly did you do? My biggest thing was I voiced this from day one to my OB. I told her from the very beginning, you know, I don't want a 3rd-degree tear like I did with my son. Obviously, it's sometimes not fully like in your control. You know, had I needed a C-section, then that's something I cannot control, right? But if it was something that I was able to control and my doctor could help me, I wanted her to know, hey, I do not want to tear. Because my first time, let me just tell you, it was rough being, you know, a first-time mom, having to learn everything about recovery. I had no idea what I needed. It was very difficult to navigate the newborn time. So this time with no tears, I was so happy. I felt so much more confident. And it's funny because I had already bought all of the tools that I needed the first time. And I believe I kind of overdid it because, again, I was expecting the exact same outcome that I had with my son. If there's anything that you take away from this video, and if you're someone who's planning on having kids or pregnant right now and gonna have a kid soon, I think if you are someone who does not want to tear and who does not want to go through that entire experience, number one is definitely, you know, share that with your doctor. And then number two is what my doctor called the breathing technique. She actually talked me through the whole way on actually breathing baby out, and I believe that's what helped me not tear. I wasn't under this like high stress. I told my body to relax, and I breathed my way through the contractions, and with every push that I helped baby girl get out. Now let's get into breastfeeding. This is a very touchy topic, so I'm gonna kind of run through it because I'm not the most confident in this area, I'll tell you that. In breastfeeding, both with my first and with this one, I find that I'm an oversupplier, and I find that this is the most difficult space to navigate, because in my head it's like, if you are solely breastfeeding, you know, and nursing, then you are the only one to be feeding baby 24/7, you know, morning, nighttime, it's you. And then this time I did kind of research a little bit more, and I found, you know, you can be an exclusive pumper and you can only pump and then bottle feed with your breast milk. So we did try that for a little bit, and again, the oversupply issues became a big thing, and I didn't really find that I was feeling like myself. I found that I was not being able to be the best mom, and this was very important this time around because I wanted to be there both for my toddler, for my newborn, you know, be a better mom just all around. I wanted to be there for my partner as well. I wanted to be the best person. So this was something I struggled with for sure the second time around, and I reached out to my doctor this time. The first time I just kind of quit, didn't tell anybody, just my partner, and he was just with me like, okay, you know, it's your decision. But this time I did reach out to my doctor, and on her orders, you know, she told me to get something called Sudafed, which I believed was a huge game changer for me and in lowering my milk supply, helping stop the engorgement. It helped with the clogged ducts, everything. So from day one to when I stopped breastfeeding was like 3 weeks. And then when I started Sudafed was about 3 days until I finally started feeling back to myself. But if you are someone who knows anything about that, about breastfeeding, engorgement, all those things, it's not fun. It feels like you're holding onto rocks, you know, on your chest, and it's the worst in my opinion. So I know everyone has, you know, their own thing with breastfeeding, and everyone is gonna choose to do what they want to do. I do ultimately believe, you know, fed is best. So now baby girl is on formula, and she is still very much thriving. The hardest part truly has been like the logistics, the planning, the time management, the getting 2 kids ready, getting 2 kids ready for bath time, getting 2 kids ready for an event, getting 2 kids ready just to change for the day and have some sort of schedule with both. Rio being a big brother has been beautiful. Like, that has been the best thing that I love about having 2 now. I was very scared that he was not going to take it well. I was very scared that he was going to act out all the time because he is only 2. He's about to be 2.5 soon. So he's like in that middle stage where he's, you know, testing boundaries, just doing all the things a 2-year-old does. But he's been taking it so well. I believe like it's kind of matured him. It's kind of helped him mature in a way. He is always trying to love her. He's always trying to kiss her. What they don't tell you though is that half the time I feel like I'm kind of trying to prevent him from hurting her in any way. And that's something that's been challenging because I don't want to just immediately tell him no, and then him kind of resent the baby or feel like I'm so restricted like to love on this baby who's supposed to be my sister. So I try to find different words for it. When I see that he wants to hug her and he doesn't realize he's heavy and he can hurt her, I tell him things like, hey, that might hurt her. Hey, her face is showing me that she doesn't like that. And it's very difficult. It's a lot harder than it might seem. Just having to kind of catch myself when I want to panic. I don't want to scare him and then him act out and hit her. It's challenging in that way, just learning to not immediately say no. I do remind myself very often that it will get easier as she gets older. But I also remind myself like to find beauty in the moments now. I don't want to look back in a few months and be like, man, I didn't get to enjoy these moments with her as a newborn and him as a toddler because I was so so much looking forward to the future, or I was so tired. I really try to find all these beautiful moments in just our day-to-day, you know. That's what it's been like with 2 kids, kind of transitioning from the 1 kid to 2 in my postpartum life. I am interested on knowing if you have kids, how your transition was, and do you think it was harder going from 0 kids to 1 kid or 1 kid to 2 kids? Because I think it was definitely harder going 0 to 1, like that entire shift. It just rocks your world. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to give my video a like and subscribe to my channel as well. It means so much to me. I will catch you in my next one. Bye.